Hi everyone, Anthony Cartano here, the internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for a review of this new Roddy Ricch album, Live Life Fast. This is the sophomore album of Compton rapper and singer Roddy Ricch, a project I was pretty excited to get into just to see how Roddy would follow up such an explosive entry into the mainstream with one of the most viral tracks of the 2010s, The Box.
You know, the sound the box makes.
What box? What box?
This one.
So yeah, there was The Box, and also a very good debut album that had some quality tracks on it and a lot of potential too. This project showcased vocals that were at least a few cuts above your average auto-crooner or mellow trap artist. So with this new LP, I was kind of just hoping that Roddy would build on the best ideas from Please Excuse Me, but it's kind of obvious from the opening track that this LP is going to be a very different experience. The spoken word intro and the grand arranged instrumental passages that almost seemed kind of Kanye-esque. I thought we were honestly in for a pretty ambitious undertaking here, but Live Life Fast is definitely a switch up, but sadly it's not a great one. Cause on this record, track after track, I feel like I'm just patiently waiting, sitting here, hoping for Roddy to play to his strengths, but he never really does. If there's anything historically that set Roddy apart from many other artists out there, it's that he could really sing. He's got a good voice, a good range, and occasionally when he gets kind of out there with his inflections, he can remind me of Young Thug without sounding exactly like Young Thug. But there's not a lot of this on Live Life Fast. Much of the time here, Roddy seems content just to rap, and when he does drop melodies, they're kind of mild. Sadly, this leads to a lot of tracks that are middle of the road or just fall flat on their face. The chorus on All Good, for example, is absolutely awful. My hoes all good, I fuck 'em all good, my credit all good, bitch, I'm always good. Way more awkward than you would ever want a chorus to be, and on top of that, the verses sound like Big Sean if he had absolutely no wordplay. The effortless hook on Roller Coastin' pretty much rolls by without much of an impression. Roller coastin'. The differing vocal mixes on Hibachi sound like Roddy and Kodak Black and 21 Savage recorded the thing over a Zoom call. The boredom on this record continues until we hit a weird spot on the song No Way, which has a feature from Jamie Foxx. But the Jamie Foxx feature is nothing more than a glorified spoken outro on the track that leads us into the next song, Slow It Down, which is actually a great slow jam with beautiful vocal work from Ty Dolla $ign, but this track only ends up being sort of an interlude. It ends out of nowhere, it's cut short, despite being the best sounding track on the record so far. And why we even need to go into this detour in the first place, I don't know, because it's not like this outro and interlude introduces a series of slower, more mellow, emotional tracks. The track Man Made right after with its vocal lines and MIDI pianos just sounds like a Rod Wave song. Then Murda 1 is a Kenny Beats produced drill cut with 5EO4 on it. It's not bad, but it just kind of adds to this record's overall lack of focus, as the album doesn't really feel like Roddy forging a song of his own or proving that his first record wasn't just a fluke. There's no direction, specificity, or one thing Roddy is doing particularly well on this record. It just kind of seems like he's hopping on a bunch of different waves and hoping one of them will take off. The first track on this thing that feels like it would genuinely fit into the Please Excuse Me track list is Everything You Need. But even Roddy's very passionate vocal performance on that track does falter in parts. Roddy does actually come through with some of those wild, expressive inflections on Late at Night, but at this point in the track list, it's kind of too little too late. This is right at the tail end of the record, and this song only serves as a reminder of what this record was kind of missing all the way up until this point. I'm also kind of surprised by the sudden spacey jazz fusion intro that kicks off a Move to Miami. The drums are cool, and the droning synth layers are pretty entrancing. As I was listening to it, I was hyped to hear what is Roddy gonna do over this? This is insane. But then as the track really begins, it just drops into a generic trap beat. Totally sets things up with this jazzy intro for no reason whatsoever. The last leg of the record is as uninspired as the first. I would say the closing track here is the definition of phoning it in. And this record overall just kind of feels like Roddy has nothing, or feels like he has nothing left to prove or do. The amount of success he's seen off of his breakout single and album seems to be enough to have put him in a position where he no longer seems willing to try anything all that new, daring, or interesting. He barely seems even motivated to write a legitimately catchy hook. I hope with the speed at which artists release music today, Roddy can kind of bounce back on another project, on a mixtape, something, because what he's doing here is just absolutely not special or stand out in any way whatsoever, especially in comparison with his pretty good debut album. Feeling a strong 3 to a light 4 on this one. Transition, have you given this record a listen? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you rate it? You're the best, you're the best. What should I review next? Hit the like if you like, please subscribe, and please don't cry. Hit the bell as well. Over here next to my head, it's another video you can check out. Hit that up, or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, Roddy Ricch, forever.